Pattern recognition. That's what I just jotted down. Let's talk out loud about that. I think pattern recognition is what leads to being able to see through all the deception, really. Just seeing the patterns in things and in everything. Also lets you see the interconnectedness of life, so you can see the good and the bad, so to speak. You can see it all once you can see the patterns in things. Patterns in the different teachings, the different religious stories and myths. Not that they're all myths. Doesn't matter though. There's patterns in all of the stories. All the allegory and all of it all matches up into patterns. It's just with different names and different labels, different times, different places, different cultures. Same message. Message is in the patterns. It's a message of the pattern of life itself and the interconnectedness of all life itself and consciousness between us beings, so-called human beings, whatever we might be. We are more than the animals, the reptiles, and the insects, though we still live like them and similarly to them and feel similarly to some of them maybe. Our consciousness and our spirits set us apart. It's what it's supposed to have allowed us to all work in harmony and to bring harmony to this place together. In harmony with all the other life that exists. Because of our consciousness and our ability to develop and expand our own consciousness and to gain so much wisdom from our intellects combined with our experience in this place, no matter how we're taught. It's all experience, and wisdom can be gained from that experience in conjunction with even some of the nonsense taught. Just by seeing the patterns in it and recognizing it to be nonsense, it points directly toward a different way of doing things, like looking through a mirror. Not all things can just be turned upside down on their head and ultimately just be easily fixed right away, because some of the stuff that's been taught and that we've experienced in our experience is absolute nonsense and needs to be discarded quickly, along with the belief in it. What that belief might have been, no matter how strong that belief might have been or it was for whatever concept or piece of experience, if it's incorrect, if it's immoral, the wisdom has to be gained from it, and then it has to be openly expressed, talked about, accepted, and moved past. Otherwise, we continue to repeat these same cycles of patterns. Incorrect thought, incorrect behavior, incorrect action, immoral thought, immoral behavior, immoral action. And to have it so prominently, those types of behaviors and those types of teachings and those things and those concepts and those ideologies so prominently portrayed to everyone through all the different sources of media and the different minstrels and entertainers that present it, along with all the scholars, the academics, and the gurus that also present the same sorts of nonsense, that push the same sorts of incorrect or immoral behavior that's directly against what our nature is, what nature itself is, and what life is, and what should be. The patterns are in all of it, or in all the structures of all the systems, of all the beliefs. The patterns are there. Patterns are everywhere, and the patterns also are right outside in life and right here on and in the physical body of each individual being, everywhere they are. So many patterns exist within the self that can be traced directly back to the source of the spirit that's in each individual, that just have been taught to believe there is no such spirit, or there is no such feeling to be found within oneself, to always look outside, that one cannot expand one's consciousness and know things that everyone else knows and feel things everyone else feels. And realize that they have infinite potential within them that they only need to find the spark of, and then they can grow and cultivate. It doesn't take going outside. Though the right information coming in from the outside can help and quickly expand the consciousness and the feeling and the frequency and the resonance of the individual's energy. Outside influence can help in a good, positive way quickly. The way things have been driven and taught, it's the other way. It's to keep folks' consciousness and feeling within themselves suppressed, and then suppressed to the point that they're outside themselves, constantly searching for what's right inside them, the holes that have been created inside them, that they're constantly driven to fill outside. Yet they can't recognize that pattern of behavior that they're running through over and over, trying to fill holes within them by looking outward constantly and trying to get more from out there, to have more things, yet those holes remain inside. Because those holes can't be filled with physical things. Those holes can only be filled. There's one physical thing. It's the physical effort of the individual putting energy directly inward into themselves, into their consciousness, into their feelings, and searching in there. That physical aspect of things, that helps. That helps immensely, because some of that energy has to be directed back inward. It has to be physically. And it's physically taxing because it's mentally taxing and it's spiritually taxing. And that all takes energy. But that's how you find where your source of energy is. What is it that makes you you? Before all the physical stuff. What started all the physical stuff? There was always something before physicality. And that's what you can trace to. And that's what you can build from. Because inside everyone is infinite. Inside themselves, they're just trapped in a finite body. I've said before, a lot of others have said too. Except now I know. I know for a fact. I know that is truth. It is. Because I found that in myself, and I know everyone else can too. That's the only reason I've been trying to say things. At first I sounded totally insane the way I was putting things, but that's only because I didn't know how to put words to what I was feeling, because I hadn't felt that deep. Likely my whole life, I don't know. Well, the feeling deeper came later, but the spiritual part I didn't feel. I didn't feel until I found that spark in there, that it was indeed real inside, but that was inside. It also comes from looking at a lot of consciousness expanding material, so to speak, and actually, or for me it did. Why, now I keep trying to say now that it's so simple, that it doesn't have to be that complicated, that one doesn't have to go through looking at all these different teachings from all these different places. But you know, maybe to speed it along, you know, I think I was wrong there, and I think it is important. And at first I was trying to express the importance of some of the things I found and felt when I could see and feel and hear and get what I was getting from things like the Emerald Tablets, the Book of Enoch, and those types of things, those sorts of teachings, the Kabbalah, the Hermetic teachings. It's all so important because it all traces back, and it allows the pattern recognition is what it does. So that's how trying to talk about pattern recognition. But that does, and I heard someone else talk about on a video today, in going into those things, not just the Bible, but those other teachings too, and then really being able to see the allegory, you get the pattern recognition. It does indeed expand the consciousness faster, because it gives more grammar for then the brain to put logic to, as you take in the rhetoric of others that's constructed so beautifully. It lines up patterns within life as you take it in. Energetic patterns within life, actually, for some of it. So what it did for me, and that is consciousness expanding in both the mind and the heart, in the resonant field of the individual's spirit. You know, it really is. But it's that pattern, it's all those pattern recognitions that we can all do, and we all have that ability and capability to do, that will point out all the deception of reality and get everyone to walk into wherever they are and go, why are we doing things like this? I won't be a part of this anymore, and it's going to change, or I'm leaving and I'm doing something different. And if everyone did that wherever they were, when they suddenly realized they were their own master and they were not the slave of another, but we're all here to do this together, but everyone has their own master, has the right to know what's going on, and does not have the right to cause harm against any other, and also has the right to find out if those things are going on, well then how we can put it right, through either words and talking it through and changing it, or by ceasing the behavior altogether right then and there and stopping it. That's why none of the violence, none of the fighting, none of the wars are required. It's because that's what's been driven to keep us in this backward state, to not recognize these patterns. And they all basically boil down to patterns of enslavement, because all the patterns, the way they've been built and taught and then played out by folk over and over in repetitive behaviors and thoughts throughout their day, every day throughout their life, generation after generation, is slavery. It doesn't matter what system you look at it. If it's a system of belief, it's enslaving you, and it's causing you to be a part of that system of enslavement, to then enslave others at the same time, and then it causes just this mass suffering of what we witness today, when it could all be fixed really quite quickly if everyone was able to just catch up to the present moment, all at the same time, recognize all these same patterns, expand their consciousness, expand their feeling, and get that they're all a part of the same thing, that we're all doing this all at the same time together, and the time is right now, this moment, all at the same time for everyone. So what better time than to go start asking the questions and going, why are we doing things like this? Let's change it. Let's stop it. Let's do it this way or that. Let's stop using and consuming other life energy for whatever purpose we see fit. How about that for a start? Just that one. And then see where it goes from there. Yeah. I'll stop this there for now. That might actually be something to post. I don't know. So, yeah, I'll probably post it because I didn't post anything yesterday. So, I guess no matter how this sounds, I'm just going to go ahead and post it and call it pattern recognition. So, I won't know exactly what I said. Hopefully it came out pretty decent, and I hope there's some kind of decent message. And I want to come across more positively while I'm talking about these kinds of things, which is hard to do, but I feel that there's potential, there's positive change, this all of this, it's all changing already. It's like it's already done. That everyone's consciousness has already expanded to the point where, because the collective consciousness already knows all these same things about how we've all been treated and enslaved and this and that collective consciousness that resonates in the energy of this place that we're all walking around in all that knowledge and feeling of that is already out there so heavily that I'm convinced that we're already here. And at any time now, the individuals even that have held on the hardest to their beliefs and their cycles of repetitive destructive behavior, even then, they're not going to be able to keep holding back from this, from what's inside them, because it's causing them to self-destruct is what it's doing, and people are getting sicker and sicker and poorer state of mind and health and lashing out. And only it's because, to me, because they're still grabbing onto this belief, that belief, whatever out there in the real world, so to speak, the material world, the world of the belief of money and control and this and that. The longer that's held on to, the more destructive it is. And not just for the individual holding on to those patterns of behavior and belief, but to those around them as well and everyone else. So thanks for listening, whoever listens to this. I'll keep trying to get better at this, but I just want to keep trying to help as best I can, because really I feel it's all I can do at this point in time, is just to try and help with words. Because too many other crazy attempts by people trying to do the right thing, by folk trying to do the right thing, but in the wrong state of mind, go out, try to help, end up causing bigger issues and bigger ripple effects of negativity and fighting out there. And I am definitely, though the truth in of itself and this reality and conveying it through words personally the way I'm doing and saying it out loud to make it very clear that I don't operate from belief, that I'm operating from a place of truth within myself. That's a very centered, balanced, happy place of love and care. I know that some out there that are still holding on to those repetitive beliefs in the way of looking at things, because I used to look at things the same way, would look at me and hear what I say and go, I hate you, I hope you die, and I would do this and that to you if I ever saw you in real life, because you're, whatever. They would see me as this mirror of some dark thing that I'm not, or lash out because of some inner pain that they hold on to, because, you know what, I feel less than, so you're saying all these things and it, I can't take it, and lash out at, blah. I used to act in the same fashion. That's why, I get it. I get it, and I also get that simple words can change that, because simple words got through to me. And then I got through to me, because it came down to it was everyone else's words up here in the first place, and I recognized that pattern. So once I recognized the pattern of other folks' information inside my mind, I started to find just my words, and I was able to get through to myself, I guess, with very simple words inside by asking questions like, who am I? What am I? What is about to happen if I die? What was the meaning of this experience? It's that kind of thing. It was those simple kinds of questions within myself that really helped me to expand my own consciousness and really search deeper within me for more answers and more truth, which grows and it comes because you don't have to read incessantly other people's works and knowledge and words because I'm convinced still we all have it all inside us. So though I say it helps to do the one thing, I also say that it's too much also at the same time, because the simplest concepts to me and the simplest ways of looking at things in nature and life itself is what's needed right now, because of the state that everything is in right now, and just the destruction that's going on, whether it's due to war, to weather, to technology, to incorrectly taught concepts and information. It doesn't matter what it is. There's too many things, and you can see the patterns in all of it. So thank you.